Hi everyone, welcome back to Forward Therapy. My name is Kelly. I am a certified hand therapist, and in today's video I am going to be demonstrating how I make a volar finger extension orthosis. So I know that this video might seem kind of basic for an experienced clinician, but if you are somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience making splints, orthoses, or if you're just kind of new to the field or want to learn more about splinting and hand therapy, this video is for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so my previous footage of doing this splint got totally wiped out. No idea what happened to it, couldn't tell you. But anyway, we're back at it. We're gonna do the volar finger extension splint, and I've just got a piece of scrap material. Save all your scraps that could be used for finger splints. I mean, you know, some scraps can be tossed or recycled or whatever you do with them, or make something out of them, whatever. But these scraps are like gold because you can do stuff with them. So I'm just gonna heat my material up. I'm actually gonna kind of just estimate how big I need it to be first, because it's easier to work with a smaller piece of material rather than have a bunch of extra plastic in your way that you have to trim off later, and it gets annoying. So I usually like to cut it down a little bit first so that it's gonna fit our finger. Pop it in the splint pan. I'm using a metal bowl of water in my kitchen. But I do think I got the water better heat this time, which is great because it might not take as long. I'm fighting for my life these days with filming. I'm trying so hard to get back really dedicated to YouTube. Like, I'm trying so hard to put more content out there, and so hopefully that is helpful for everyone. And it's fun for me too. I actually do enjoy it. It's just that sometimes you go through a phase of being really busy or overwhelmed, or life just is kind of chaos. And so sometimes, unfortunately, things that aren't your career, your main money-making way, kind of have a less priority from time to time. So, but I'm doing my best, and I thank all of you for being here to watch me do my best. Okay, my water's starting to cool a little bit, so hopefully we have enough juice left over here for it to get soft enough. I'm trying to hold it to the top of the pan because I'm thinking like heat rises, right? So maybe the top of the bowl is warmer than the bottom, but it's still not. I just don't think the water is warm enough. So I might need to reboil some water. Okay, time out. Okay, while we're waiting for this new batch of water to boil, I gotta show you guys something. So if you know me, you know that I'm not a mom. I'm not a dog mom, sadly. Can't wait till I can be a dog mom, but I'm a plant mom. So I have tons of house plants, and this this gal, she ain't looking too hot right now, so don't judge her. This is an orchid that my amazing friend Michelle gave me, I want to say like 3 years ago. I have no idea how to take care of orchids. I have no idea how she's still alive, but she is thriving. This girl, so she doesn't look like she's thriving right now because she just lost all of her flowers. So orchids, apparently, if you didn't know, they kind of go through their whole blooming phase, and then this like whole stick dealio, which had 3 beautiful branches, is kind of like dead now. So I think I'm gonna trim that off. But like, can you see this new growth happening here? Like this, she's gonna bloom again. And probably in the next few weeks, which I'm super excited about. So I'll have to show you her growth progression in a few weeks. And then this is kind of a fun little craft project. If you don't know me, you also don't know that I love crafts and art of all kinds. This is just diamond dots. They're like little kits that you can get, and you use this little stylus pen and you just like put the little diamonds on the sticky back pattern. So super fun craft if you are kind of crafty, or you just like to do stuff with your hands. But yeah, orchid growth moments. Okay, water's reboiled, we're good to go. Putting our little piece of plastic in the bath. Okay, I think that is ready for action. With the volar splint, I usually have the patient resting in a supinated position, and then I just place the material on their finger. If they've got a contracture, you know, you're going to want to apply sort of this 3-point pressure. And kind of just like a little hammock for the finger. So soft touch always with splinting. Usually you want your edges to come down about halfway down the finger, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to trim up at the top, obviously, but that is sort of a volar extension orthosis, sort of fabrication. This is kind of a look at the top view, so it kind of looks like a little canoe or just a little hammock. And if you haven't checked out my other video where I form a dorsal orthosis, which if you have seen that video, you know that I'm a dorsal finger splint girly. Just my personal preference as a therapist, that's what I generally fabricate. But when I asked on Instagram, I gave a poll, and like literally 0% of you said that you do dorsal splints. So I was like, is it only me? But try one out, because you never know. Maybe you'll switch. I used to make them volar too, and then I started making them dorsal. After I saw actually a lecture through ASHT, I believe, through the conference. I want to say it was last year. And so ever since then I've been converted officially. So I just trimmed this baby down. So now it is going to fit just like that. And then I'm going to put the strapping on. For this, you want to make sure that you've got a Velcro strap across the proximal phalanx and the middle phalanx, and then the distal phalanx is kind of good just for keeping everything in together. So I just took my 1-inch Velcro and sliced it in half. And normally I would use a heat gun for this, because especially with this material, which is kind of coated, and so it doesn't stick all that well. And then obviously when you're doing this with the patient, you can always mark it with a wax pencil for the correct placement. Especially if you're kind of new to splinting, it's probably helpful to do that at first so that you don't have to keep replacing your Velcros or repositioning it. And then let's see what kind of scraps I got over here. I'm just going to use this to cut it down. I'm cutting this sort of in half just so I have enough material, but I usually will cut like a 1-inch piece into about a half width or 3/4 width to make the straps here. Depends on their finger size too, the width of their finger. And just kind of seeing what will fit. Nope, that's going to go on our distal phalanx here. And then this guy is going to go on our middle phalanx. And again, you're going to want to be, just kind of cognizant of your areas of pressure. So we want to probably not have the, I just conked my head, not trying to concuss myself here. We want to make sure that the PIP joint is not pressed down with Velcro, because that's just not very comfortable for the joint, and it's also not great leverage. So you want to make sure that that Velcro sits sort of at the proximal phalanx, the middle, and then the distal. So we've got our volar finger extension splint, or orthosis. So that's how I would make a volar finger extension orthosis. If I ever make one again, I will let you know. No, in all seriousness, they're both great options, and every patient's different, so sometimes dorsal just doesn't work out, and same thing, vice versa for volar. But I hope this video was helpful, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel, and see you soon. Okay, bye.